Hi, welcome to King's Corner. I'm Jerry, I'm your host, and it's time to start a new streak. The Red Sox winning streak of 15 games was snapped by the Baltimore Orioles Wednesday night. They had yesterday off, and tonight they start a series against the Toronto Blue Jays. Uh, Trey Savage, a good pitcher, will be going for the Blue Jays. They have good pitchers going all weekend with Dylan Cease, and who was the starter in the All-Star game, and Kevin Gausman, who Jerry has always been a fan of, going in another game. So it'll be a tough series. I'm hoping for 2 out of 3. We don't have to have a long winning streak, just continue our winning ways, and that would be good. Excuse me. What I want to talk about today is the trade deadline. And I saw some hypothetical trades and I saw some names mentioned, and I wanted to comment on the hypothetical trades, see what you think, whether you would do them, what I'm looking to do. My philosophy at this trade deadline is the Red Sox should either do one of two things: either do something really big or something just marginal, and pick up a rental. I don't like the middle of the road trade where they get somebody good who can help them, don't get me wrong, but you give up too much to get them. When you're making trades at the deadline, there are probably 23 teams that are still in the playoff race and only 6 or 7 teams that aren't. So those 6 or 7 teams are sellers. And whenever you have more buyers than sellers, it creates an uneven market in anything, whether it's tulips, cars, or baseball players. So if you're going to make a trade and you are a buyer, well, you're going to pay up for them. Certainly more than you would pay during the off season. So with that in mind, I saw some interesting trades. I wanted to run them by you and see what you thought. Trade number 1. I saw the Red Sox giving up Franklin Arias, who's now the number 2 prospect in all of baseball. He's just been promoted from AA to AAA. He's one of 4 guys that have made it that far in the last 50 years that are 20 years old. The others being Roman Anthony, Xander Bogaerts, and Glenn Hoffman. Glenn sort of doesn't fit in with those guys, although he was a good baseball player. Don't get me wrong, his brother was a Hall of Famer. But Franklin Arias, Mikey Romero, who is a former number 1 pick. He's currently ranked 16th on the top Red Sox prospects, top 25. He was drafted in the first round when Roman Anthony went in the second round. So it tells you that he's got good promise. He's got good pop. He's now at AAA, hitting home runs. Not a high batting average, has trouble against lefties, but a good ball player. Anthony Everson, the number 2 prospect for the Red Sox, pitcher. I saw him pitch, and I was super impressed. He's unbeaten in Portland. They have no intention of bringing him up to the AAA at this point. They want him to get more seasoning at the AA level. But I saw him, and I've seen Tolle and Early and Bennett, and he doesn't take a backseat to any of those 3. Phillips, who's the number 12 prospect, and Marcelo Meyer. So those 5 players, so obviously it's going to be a big return. And the return would be Ella De La Cruz of the Cincinnati Reds. There are reasons Cincinnati might be interested in doing something with him. Number 1, he's just a few years away from free agency, where they may not be able to think that they can afford him. And they would be getting a haul from the Red Sox. Let's face it, that's a lot of players. And that's a lot of good players. Certainly getting the number 1 and number 2 prospects on the team, getting Meyer, who still has some value, and Romero and Phillips. So that's one trade. What do we think of that? I'd do it. Getting De La Cruz, you're getting a guy that will be one of the faces of your franchise for the next 10 years if you can sign him to an extension, which you're the Red Sox, you should be able to do that. He's a fantastic talent. Could be a 40-40 guy very easily, 40 homers, 40 stolen bases. I like him a lot. Trade number 2. Red Sox send Connolly Early. Oh, we hate that. Kyson Witherspoon, former number 1 draft choice as a pitcher just a couple of years ago. Marcelo Meyer and Nieves to the Colorado Rockies for Hunter Goodman. He's 26 years old. He's a catcher. He's got 31 home runs this year. Now, it's a little bit risky to trade for a catcher and trade your catcher in the middle of the season where they've gotten used to the pitchers. They know the pitchers. They know what to call. It would be an adjustment, no question about that, and that's risk. But 31 home runs from your catcher in the middle of the lineup, that'd be pretty good. And you're not giving up Arias, and you're not giving up Everson. Now, you are giving up Connolly Early, who's a starter on this year's staff. So that would hurt. But it's certainly worth looking at, and I might do that. I might. So there's 2 trades. All right, now let's get to number 3, and that is Roman Anthony, Kyson Witherspoon, and Franklin Arias. Now you know it's going to be something gigantic, and maybe one other prospect going to the Kansas City Royals for Bobby Witt Jr. Roman Anthony going into this year was the face of the franchise. Franklin Arias is the number 2 prospect in baseball. Witherspoon, who hasn't done all that great so far this year, but he is a number 1 pick and has got great stuff. Once again, I'd do it. You're getting the face of your franchise for the next 10 years, and he's affordable. He's signed to a long-term deal. Now, do I believe Kansas City would actually have the guts to do it? Probably not. But they got to look at it in another way. They're not winning anything with Bobby Witt. They're horrible. And they are getting the potential to getting 3 star players, maybe a 4th on the prospect list. Look what it costs to get Garrett Crochet. I also throw back to what San Diego gave up to get Juan Soto. Now, Juan Soto, Bobby Witt Jr., different times. But would I do this trade? I think I would. So Roman Anthony is going to be a great player. Maybe a better hitter than Bobby Witt Jr. when all is said and done. But I brought this up on yesterday's show that a friend of mine and I rated the 5 best players in the American League. We had the same 5 on both our lists. But Bobby Witt Jr. was one of them. And he's going to be a great player for a long time. And he's ridiculously fast. He's got pop. He plays a great brand of shortstop. It would be something. So those are 3 monumental trades, and I do every one of them. All right, let's talk about some other players. All right, here's another trade. Marcelo Meyer, Everson, Azako, and Palmera. Those are 2 lower-level prospects, probably in the 6 to 14 range for the Red Sox, for Zach Neto of the California Angels. I would not do this trade. I'm not giving up Everson for him. Neto is a good player. He's a +3 and more. He's got pop, but he strikes out a lot. And there's questions about his range. So all in all, I would think that I'll pass on that deal. I still want Zach Neto. I would try to work something else around, where I wouldn't have to give up Everson. And if that was the case, if it was a deal like Meyer, Azarco, and Primero, I think I might do that. But I would not throw a pitcher into the deal. Other names the Red Sox are looking at. George Springer would fit in very nicely, putting him out in left. He's a right fielder, but he'd have to play left in Fenway. Don't know how much it would cost you, but I don't think it would cost you all that much. And he's a good hitter, and he's a good fielder, and he's a winning ball player. So depending on what you'd have to give up, I'd be very interested in getting him. Isaac Paredes. Now, I see this name a lot. The Astros are only a couple of games out of first place in that division. I don't think they're making any kind of move with him. But if you did get him, if you could get him for a reasonable price, he'd be terrific. You could throw, they're not going to displace Durbin at third, but he does play second base as well. And we need help at second base. I love Anthony Ziegler and what he's done, but twice in the last week, there have been plays he should have made that were crucial, and he didn't make them either time. One was a ground ball, should have been a double play, get him out of the inning. He juggled the ball, got the out at first. The Red Sox went on to win that game. It's during the streak. And then the second one was the double play ball when they were playing the game they lost. And he was called for dropping the ball, whether he did, whether he didn't. The umpires ruled that he did. So that's a big loss. So that's something to keep an eye on. And his hitting has been sporadic as of late. Wasn't hitting the way he was earlier. So I could see them trying to get a second baseman. I think they'll do something for the mid infield because right now Major League evaluators are rating their infield just about the worst in baseball. I like Chang. I think he does a good job at shortstop, but he's not a hitter. So they have some, you want to go into the playoffs with that middle infield? Probably not. Other guys out there, Shea Langoliers of the Oakland A's, catcher. Boy, I'd pay up to get him. He's quite a player. It would be interesting to see what you'd have to give. I have not seen any hypotheticals with him, but it would be costly to get him and might be too costly because while he's a terrific talent, he isn't Bobby Witt Jr. and he isn't Ellie De La Cruz. Other guys out there. Now, here's a cheaper alternative is Bo Bichette of the Mets. The Mets signed him for 3 years. Here's the thing about Bo. It's almost assured that he's going to opt out at the end of this year. So, from the Mets anyway, I don't think he's happy there. So the Mets know that. So what might they be willing to give up to get him? We'll have to wait and see. But he's a good hitter. And you could put him at second base. His defense has always been suspect. But he's played shortstop, and he's just not a good shortstop. They could throw him at third base, which they're doing, the Mets are doing. But he's, not a great third baseman either. But at second base, it's a short throw. It might be worth the shot. Speaking of second base, there's Luis Ariz of the San Francisco Giants, who is a terrific hitter, was hitting .330 as of recently. So we'll have to wait and see what he would cost. He's a rental. He's a free agent at the end of the season. So those are all guys that I'm looking at. I hope the Red Sox do something big. I think the fan base needs it. We've been disappointed in moves that the Red Sox have made over the last 2 years. And once again, it's hard to make trades. And there's a rule in baseball. You only are a buyer if you think it'll help you win the World Series. And that's why they sort of stood pat the last couple of years with making very small moves. And it sort of hurt them with the fan base. But people wouldn't have been happy if you would have given up Connolly early for Merritt Kelly. And then Kelly goes back to Arizona. So I understand. I understand how difficult it is. That's why I'm thinking do something big, get a major impact player that's young, that you're going to have around for a while, even if it costs you. Well, the good news is we only have about 10 days to find out. And hopefully the Red Sox will continue their winning ways. They've got 3 with Toronto, then they go to Sacramento for 4, and then the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers for 3, and then right then that's the trade deadline. So they have 10 games before the trade deadline. They're right in the race now. Right now in the American League, there's no one any better than them. So with that in mind, maybe it's time to, take the 3-wood out and go for the green. That's our show for this afternoon. Once again, I'm Jerry. This is Kenny's Corner. If you like the show, give us a like, give us a subscribe. I say it every day. It helps the algorithm. Please leave a comment. We love those. And we read them on the show if they're any good. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.